The A320 is equipped with two twin-wheel main gear legs which retract inboard. And a dual-wheel nose gear which retracts forward. The wheels of the main landing gear are equipped with carbon brakes for efficient braking even at high temperature, an anti-skid system, anti-skid, an automatic braking system, auto brake, a brake fan, and a tire pressure indicating system, TPIS. The nose gear is equipped with a nose wheel steering system. The gear and doors are electrically controlled and hydraulically operated. Two landing gear control and interface units, LGCIUs, control the extension and retraction of the gear and the operation of the door. The LGCIUs also supply information about the landing gear to ECAM and the other aircraft systems. The ECAM wheel page displays indications for the main landing gear, nose landing gear, landing gear doors, tire pressure, and brake temperature. In the center of the ECAM wheel page, green and amber messages can be displayed to provide normal and abnormal indications. This will be discussed further in the normal and abnormal operation modules. At the bottom of the ECAM wheel page, the position of the spoilers is displayed. This will be discussed in the Flight Controls chapter. Let's go to the cockpit to locate the controls and indicators for the landing gear, brakes, and steering. The landing gear selector lever is located on the center instrument panel. Just above the landing gear lever is a panel which contains switches and indicators for the landing gear, the auto brake, the brake fan, and the anti-skid and nose wheel steering. Let's take a closer look. Landing gear position indications are associated with position indicators on the wheel page: up, in transit, down. When auto brakes are used, selection of low, med, or max is made using these push-button switches. The anti-skid and nose wheel steering button controls both functions. The switch is normally left in the on position. The landing gear gravity extension handle is located on the center pedestal. This will be discussed further in the abnormal operation modules. The steering hand wheels are located on each side of the cockpit, so either pilot can taxi the aircraft. The rudder pedals can also be used to steer the aircraft. The rudder pedals are located on each side of the center pedestal. Manual braking is provided using the top of the rudder pedals. The parking brake handle is located on the center pedestal. Its operation will be discussed in the normal operation module. The A320 provides 4 braking modes: normal braking, alternate braking with anti-skid, alternate braking without anti-skid, and parking brake. Normal braking is powered by the green hydraulic system. Alternate braking, which includes the parking brake, is powered by the yellow hydraulic system. This gauge, which measures pressures from the alternate braking system, is located on the main instrument panel. We will discuss the normal and alternate system, and we will use them in the modules that follow. We are in the cockpit, just prior to going outside for the exterior inspection. First of all, the pilot non-flying checks that the landing gear lever is in the down position and that the parking brakes handle is in the on position. On the engine warning display memo section, parking brake in green indicates that the parking brake handle is in the on position. Notice that the pressure to the main brakes is indicated for each main landing gear. The yellow hydraulic system or accumulators supply the alternate and parking brake pressure. The pressure indication should be in the green area. This indicates that the accumulator can hold the parking brake pressure for at least 12 hours. If the pressure indication is not in the green arc, use the yellow hydraulic electrical pump to recharge the brake accumulator. Warning: get ground crew clearance before using the electric pump. As we will be checking the brake wear indicators during the walk-around, the parking brake must be set to on. During exterior inspection, on the nose landing gear, we check the gear structure and download springs, the hydraulic lines, the electrical wires, taxi take-off, turn-off lights, the chocks, wheels and tires. On the main landing gear, we check the gear structure and download springs, the wheel well for general condition, wheels and tires, the hydraulic lines, the electrical wires, chocks and safety pin removed, brake wear indicator. The brake wear indicators indicate the state of the carbon discs. Note, as previously mentioned, the parking brake must be on for an accurate brake wear check. We are back in the cockpit for the cockpit preparation. The pilot flying verifies that the 3 gear pins and covers are on board and stowed. We also check that the gravity gear extension lever is stowed. It's now time to push back. We have to release the parking brake. Set the parking brake to off. The parking brake is off. The brake's pressure is back to 0. During pushback, the nose wheel steering selector, located on the nose wheel, is in the towing position. Nose wheel steering disconnected memo is displayed in green on the engine warning display. With this indication, nose wheel steering is not possible from the cockpit. It becomes amber if one engine is running. During taxi, the ECAM wheel page is automatically displayed. Notice the two green triangles for each gear. They indicate that the gear is down and locked. Each triangle is controlled by one LGCIU. The green horizontal lines indicate that the doors are locked up in the normal position. Let's have a look at the information displayed below. Brake temperature and tire pressure are displayed in green to indicate that they are normal. During taxi, the auto brake is armed at max for takeoff. Set the auto brake to maximum. The following indications show that the auto brake is armed. On in the selected push-button switch. A message in green on the ECAM wheel page. And Auto Brake Max changes from blue to green on the takeoff configuration message. During taxi, either steering handwheel can be used to control the direction of the aircraft. The steering handwheel provides 75 degrees of nose wheel deflection, left or right. Signals from each handwheel are summed up. If two handwheels are moved in the same direction, the nose wheel deflection will be equivalent to the sum of the handwheel commands. While you are taxiing the aircraft for takeoff, you will check the flight controls. To check the rudder, you must press the rudder pedal disconnect switch. This button disconnects the nose wheel steering from the rudder, so that you can check full deflection of the rudder pedals versus the indications on the ECAM. You will see and do this in the normal operation module of the flight controls. During takeoff, the aircraft direction is controlled exclusively using the rudder pedals. The rudder pedals provide up to 6 degrees of right and left deflection at low speed. As the speed increases, this deflection angle decreases progressively to 0 at 130 knots, when directional control is 0% nose wheel and 100% rudder. We have just completed the takeoff. We are airborne, and it's now time to raise the landing gear. Normally, at this phase of the flight, the ECAM engine page is displayed, but so that you can see and learn the landing gear system indications, we have displayed the ECAM wheel page. Retract the landing gear. Now, to retract the landing gear, click on the landing gear lever. The landing gear doors deflect downward and change to amber to indicate that they are in transit, then fully open. At the same time, on the main gear, the braking system automatically brakes the wheels. As the doors close, you will hear in the cockpit the sound of the brake band braking the nose wheels. As soon as the landing gear lever is moved to the up position, the message Landing Gear Control appears. This indicates that there is a discrepancy between the landing gear and lever position. Watch the ECAM and the landing gear lights. We will point out the changes as they occur. Then the landing gear retracts. There are two sets of indications which inform the pilot that the landing gear is no longer locked. Red unlock is illuminated in the position indicator lights, and the landing gear indicators become red on the ECAM wheel page. On the ECAM wheel page, the gear is retracted and the doors close. On the landing panel, the unlocked indications extinguish. Once the landing gear lever is in the up position, the auto brake is automatically disengaged. On disappears on the max push button, and Auto Brake Max disappears on the ECAM wheel page. We will now see the indications that appear on approach when the landing gear is extended down. It is now time to extend the landing gear. Watch the indications. Extend the landing gear. No, to extend the landing gear, click. As soon as the lever is down, the ECAM wheel page is automatically displayed. On the ECAM wheel page, the landing gear door indications change from green to amber to indicate that the doors are opening, doors in transit. On the landing gear panel, the unlocked indications turn red to indicate that the gear is unlocked. The landing gear unlocks and descends. On the ECAM wheel page, the landing gear indications are displayed in red. The landing gear extends. On the ECAM wheel page, the landing gear indications change from red to green, and the door indications change from amber to green as the doors are locked up. On the landing gear panel, the unlocked indications extinguish, and the landing gear indications become green to indicate that the gear is down and locked. These green dashes appear in flight when the landing gear is extended. They remain displayed until touchdown. They will come on and off during braking, according to the anti-skid release orders. They indicate that the anti-skid is normal and available. Note, the blue release indication means released and is a label only. Airbus recommends the use of the auto brake on contaminated runways or when operating in low visibility. For landing today, we will use the auto brake. Set the auto brake to low. The following indications indicate that the auto brake is armed. On in the selected push button. Auto brake low in green on the engine warning display, and auto brake low in green on the ECAM wheel page. Note, on the engine warning display, the memo auto brake low only appears below 800 feet above ground level. We have just touched down. During landing rollout, extension of the ground spoilers triggers the auto brake. The deceleration light illuminates green when the aircraft deceleration is at least 80% of the selected rate. Auto brake action depends on the rate selected. Low, braking 4 seconds approximately after the ground spoilers deploy. Med, braking 2 seconds approximately after the ground spoilers deploy and higher deceleration than in low. Max, immediate braking with max deceleration rate as soon as the system generates the ground spoiler order. This mode is only used for takeoff. On the ECAM wheel page, watch the green dashes. They appear during braking, indicating that the anti-skid is active. The auto brake can be deselected either using the corresponding push button on the auto brake panel or by applying sufficient force to at least one brake pedal when auto brake is operating in max, med or low mode. On the ECAM wheel page, check the brake temperature for significant differences and high temperatures. A maintenance action is required when the difference between two brakes of the same gear is greater than 150 degrees, or when the mean temperature of one gear differs by more than 200 degrees with another gear. Above 100 degrees Celsius, a green arc is displayed over the hottest brake temperature. In this case, the brake fans must be selected on. Switch the brake fan on. The on light illuminates white, indicating that the brake fan is running. Stopping at the gate, the first action is to set the parking brake on. We have set the parking brake for you. Before releasing the pedals, check the brake pressure indications. Note, as soon as the parking brake is on, braking using the pedal is on. The other braking modes and anti-skid system are deactivated. This is a demonstration of a landing gear abnormal operation. We have called the ECAM wheel page for you. You are the pilot non-flying. You are in approach. The speed is 200 knots. Everything is normal. Extend the landing gear. The red warning and associated procedure are displayed on the engine warning display. Read the title of the failure. On the ECAM wheel page, the landing gear indication is red, indicating that the left main gear is still in transit. On the landing gear panel, the unlock indication is red, indicating that the gear is not locked in the selected position. On the ECAM wheel page, steering appears because the nose landing gear doors are still open, which prevent the green hydraulic system from supplying pressure to the steering servo valve. On the ECAM wheel page, the message Landing Gear Control is displayed amber to indicate that the gear and landing gear lever position disagree. The pilot flying will ask you to perform the ECAM actions. Please read and perform ECAM actions. The landing gear is retracted. Continue ECAM action. The landing gear is extended again and the failure remains. The next ECAM action requires a non-ECAM procedure described in the QRH. This non-ECAM procedure asks you to extend the landing gear by gravity. To extend the landing gear by gravity, the hand crank must be pulled and turned clockwise about 3 turns. Extend the landing gear by gravity. The hand crank has been turned 3 times. The failure is no longer displayed on the engine warning display. Note, after gravity extension, the handle should be stowed to allow the parking brake handle to be operated on ground. The next step is to check that the landing gear lever is down. Then check the gear down indications on ECAM wheel page. After gravity extension, the landing gear is down and locked. The landing gear doors remain open. On the ECAM wheel page, this is indicated by the amber door indications in open position, steering, and by the failure message on the engine warning display. After review and confirmation from the pilot flying, clear landing gear. Clear wheel page. Now to clear wheel page, click on a clear key. Now to clear wheel page, click on a clear key. The status page is displayed. Approach Cat 3 single only is listed in the left column. Cat 3 dual, nose wheel steering and landing gear door are inoperative as displayed in the right column. After review and confirmation from the pilot flying, clear status page. ECAM actions completed. The status reminder is displayed on the engine warning display. In the same way, other failures can be displayed on the ECAM wheel page. In this example, one system, LGCIU-1, detects the nose landing gear in transit and displays the triangle in red. The other system, LGCIU-2, detects the nose gear down and locked and shows a green triangle. On each gear, only one green triangle is sufficient to indicate that the gear is down and locked. On the main gear, one triangle is missing, meaning that the gear is detected up and locked by one system, LGCIU-2. The other triangle is red because the other system, LGCIU-1, detects the gear in transit. The message "Up Lock" appears when the landing gear is down and locked with the gear up lock engaged. It is associated with an ECAM caution. You are the pilot non-flying. You are just about to touch down. Everything is normal. Click on the forward arrow to continue the landing. During braking, the brake temperatures increase. Above 100 degrees Celsius, a green arc appears on the hottest wheel. The temperatures continue to increase. The caution and associated checklist are displayed on the engine warning display. Read the title of the failure. On the brake fan push-button switch, the hot indication illuminates amber. On the ECAM wheel page, the brake temperatures are displayed in amber above 300 degrees Celsius. An amber arc is displayed above the hottest wheel. the pilot flying will ask you to perform the ECAM actions. Please perform ECAM action. On the brake fan push-button switch, the on indication becomes white, indicating that the brake fans are running. As long as the brake temperature is high, takeoff must be delayed to cool down the brakes. After review and confirmation from the pilot flying, clear brakes. The status page is displayed for review. After review and confirmation from the pilot flying, clear status. ECAM actions completed. Let's now see another abnormal operation. You are the pilot non-flying, you are in approach, everything is normal. Click on the forward arrow to activate the failure. No, to extinguish the master caution light, push the master caution push. The caution and associated checklist are displayed on the engine warning display. Read the title of the failure. On the ECAM wheel page, the message Anti-skid appears in amber, indicating an anti-skid failure. This failure is caused by either a green hydraulic system fault with a yellow hydraulic system low pressure, or a failure of both brake and steering control units, BSCUs. The message Auto Brake Med disappears, indicating the loss of the automatic braking. The braking will be done using the rudder pedals. The brake pressure will be monitored on the brake pressure indicator. It is limited to 1000 psi. After review and confirmation from the pilot flying, on the ECP, clear brakes. The status page is displayed for review. After review and confirmation from the pilot flying, you could clear the status page. We will do it for you. ECAM actions completed.